Hi, this is Mrs. Cunningham. This assignment is the most dangerous game conflict analysis chart. Let me go over the directions. Remember that most stories are built around a central conflict or struggle. An external conflict involves a character pitted against an outside force. An internal conflict occurs when the struggle takes place within a character's own mind. Directions. For each of the conflicts listed below, give an example from the story that demonstrates that conflict. Then find a quote that illustrates that example. All quotes must be properly quoted and cited. Folks, I'm going to do a couple of these for you. You can just retype them yourself on your paper, and then the rest of them you're going to do on your own to turn in for credit. Okay, so I'm going to do the internal conflict. So Rainsford versus himself. And this happens, let me see. This is, when he is being hunted. Okay, and then we need to find a quote. So you're going to want to open up the PDF of the story, and here is how you format the quote. I already did this. I found the quote. The quote is, "I must keep my nerve." And that quote, let's see, the way we format a quote, we use a parentheses, and then you put the page number, the punctuation, and then another parentheses. Another parentheses, the period, and then a quotation mark. So notice how I formatted this quote. Quotation marks, the quote, parentheses, the page number, parentheses, period, and then quotation marks. So this is a quote showing Rainsford having an internal struggle. So Rainsford versus himself. I'm just going to put versus Rainsford versus self, and this is when he is being hunted. So you're just going to type this exactly the way I typed it on your paper, and then I want you to find an example of an internal conflict that General Zaroff has. So you would put down Zaroff versus self, and then below here, I want you to write what it is and find a quote here that shows that conflict. All right, now I'm going to do a couple of these for you. I'm going to do character versus character for you. Rainsford versus Zaroff. And I'm going to do this one for you. Zaroff versus society. And then you are going to find an example of a character struggling in conflict against nature. All right. So when we have Rainsford versus Zaroff, that conflict is because Zaroff is hunting Rainsford and wants to kill him. So you will type this exact thing on your paper. And then I found a quote that goes along with that. So we put quotation marks. The general was playing with him. And this is on page 76. So parentheses, page number, period, parentheses. And this quote is from when Zaroff actually finds Rainsford that first night when Rainsford was hiding in the tree like a cat. And the next morning, Zaroff found him, but he walked away and let Rainsford live for another day. All right, and the last one I'm going to do for you is character versus society. And this is Zaroff versus society. Zaroff wants to, let's say, hunt humans, even though it is murder. All right, so even though people say it's against the law and it's illegal and it's wrong, Zaroff doesn't care. He still wants to do it. And I have a quote. Zaroff says, Rainsford says, hunting. Good good God, General Zaroff. What you speak of is murder. And this is Rainsford says this on page 70. And this is when Rainsford learns about what Zaroff is doing. All right, so I want you can just pause this video and retype exactly what I typed on your paper. So here's the top part. Again, you can pause it and retype it on your paper. And then I want you to find a quote and an example of Zaroff versus himself. And I want you to find an example of a character versus nature and a quote that goes along with it. Okay, and a character, who is it? What are they against? Explain the situation, and then find the quote. All right, and then once you do this on your own, type what I've typed, fill in the rest of the blanks on your own, turn it in for points, please.